Have you ever woken up and realized that what you are pursuing in your life and what you're doing and how you're spending your time, what you're spending so much time and energy trying to obtain, achieve, and acquire, all those things, have you ever woken up and realized that you didn't even want any of it? That you didn't truly desire that you weren't passionate about what you were pursuing, that you didn't really feel any sort of fire, any sort of inspiration, any sort of real purpose behind the efforts you were making and behind the dream life that you were pursuing. Today, I am going to be sharing with you 4 warning signs that will tell you if you are pursuing somebody else's dream life and somebody else's life purpose. Because a lot of times we really do get caught up in somebody else's version of a dream life. And we don't stop to really think about whether or not we are actually pursuing the life that we desire and the life that we dream of and the life that we will really feel passionate about, motivated about, and driven towards. So stay tuned for that. You're listening to the Dream Life Diaries podcast with host Ellison Noose, the space where you can discover and build your dream life one step at a time. If you are ready to embody the life of your dreams and start taking action and making changes, then subscribe and follow to go on a life-altering, effective journey towards success, fulfillment, and authentic design. So about 6 years ago, I was a sophomore in college, about 6 years ago. And I came to the realization that what I was pursuing, the degree I was pursuing, the career I was pursuing, everything that I had basically set myself up to do in life, I realized that I didn't want it. I realized that it was nothing. It had nothing to do with what I really wanted to do with my life. Every time I pictured myself living my dream life, the thing that I was pursuing had nothing to do with it. It was not related. The tasks I was doing were unrelated. The purpose I had was unrelated. Everything that I was pursuing with my degree, with my career, with all of my choices had absolutely nothing to do with what my dream life was, with what I really wanted out of my life. And that was incredibly stressful. I mean, if you've ever been in that situation, if you're in that situation now, then you know, realizing that all the work you've put in has absolutely nothing to do with what you actually want. It can be humiliating, it can be embarrassing, it can be destructive, it can just bring you to your knees because you have invested so much time, you have invested so much thought, you have invested so much energy in making these goals, pursuing these goals, doing the thing. And coming to the realization that what you are pursuing is not what you want, that can lead to some sort of an identity crisis. That's exactly what I had when I came to this realization when I was a sophomore in college, was that so what do I actually want? I have no idea what I want. In realizing that all the work I had put in, all the bridges I had burned, all the behavior I had had, all of the action steps that I had taken were almost a waste of time. All of the plans I had made were a waste of time. Later on, I realized they weren't a waste of time necessarily, but that they were sort of building blocks into my actual dream life. But it is this momentary, in the moment when you realize that your life and everything you've done has absolutely nothing to do with what you actually want. In that moment, you just feel like you've wasted all of years. I had wasted years of my time pursuing this certain career path in this certain lifestyle that I suddenly realized I didn't want any more. And while I believe that the degree that I got and that period of time where I was pursuing this certain career, it really developed a lot of skill sets, a lot of abilities, a lot of knowledge. It built, the person I am. It built me into the person I need to be for my dream life. But I know that there are certain things in my life that if I had simply listened to what I truly wanted to do, if I had simply sat down and said, Ellison, what is it that you actually want to do with your life? If I had taken the time to do that and allowed myself to communicate to myself what I actually want, if I'd allowed all of that to happen, then I would have been much farther along in my goal. Right now, I would be much farther along in my journey towards my dream life if I had just spent time actually listening to what I was telling myself all along that I actually wanted. So today I wanted to share with you 4 warning signs that could be communicating and could be a telltale sign that you are pursuing a dream life that is not yours, but that is somebody else's. Because a lot of times we really do take on the dream life of somebody else, whether it's a parent or somebody on social media, a friend, a professor, a mentor, something like that. I know for me, I really took on this dream life that a lot of the very successful men in my life had communicated to me because I wanted to be successful. And these men were very successful, and they said, yeah, Ellison, this is what you need to be doing. And I just listened. I'm not saying that their advice was wrong. I simply obeyed it, though. I didn't take it and ponder it and sort of take the pieces that I needed to make my own decisions. I simply obeyed their advice. So I want to share with you 4 signs that you might be right now actively pursuing somebody else's dream life and not your own. So the first warning sign is more of a question or an action that I want you to think about whether or not you've ever done this, okay? So have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what do I want my life to look like? Okay, what do I want my life to look like? Personally, I had asked myself that question time and time and time again, and I had completely ignored it. I had asked myself, Ellison, what do you want your life to look like? And every time I would say things like, I want to have control over my time. And when I envision myself being this super successful person, I'm able to make appointments whenever I want to, and I'm able to do whatever I want to, and I'm able to take days off whenever I want to, and I'm able to, I have control over my schedule. That is what I envision my dream life being. I didn't listen to that, but in the back of my mind, that is what I kept telling myself. Now, the realization I had, though, was that I had never actually purposefully and intentionally sat down and wrote out what I wanted my life to look like. When I asked myself that question, every time I would do it, I'd say, okay, Ellison, what do you want your life to look like? And then I would think, yeah, I want the flexibility. But let's say I was writing it down. If I were to write it down, I'd say, I want to have a penthouse office and, all of these things, and I want to be, I would answer somebody else's answer. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, this is what I want my life to look like, but I would answer something else. And so I want you to ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like? And I want you to answer honestly. I want you to answer precisely what you are thinking, what automatically comes to your mind, because you know what you want your life to look like. Perhaps you do want the corporate job. Perhaps you do want this or that. Perhaps you do want to be married and with children. If you want to be married and with children, don't answer, I want to be a boss babe working this time-consuming job. Like, if that's not what you want, then don't answer that. Allow yourself the room to actually be honest with yourself and to actually answer what you want. Because when I finally answered, when I finally said, yep, this is the kind of life I want. This is the kind of thing that I want to be doing every day. And this is the kind of control and flexibility and inspired work that I want to be doing. That's the kind of life that I want to be living. I don't want to be living this other life that I thought was the picture of success or the only picture of a dream life. My dream life involves this, not what I've been answering for the last 5 years, but something else entirely. And so with this first warning sign, I want you to really ask yourself what you want, and I want you to really answer what you want, not somebody else's answer. And don't be embarrassed of your answer. This can be completely private. This could be, you go to a coffee shop, you don't know anybody, you get your coffee, you have your headphones, and you just write. What do you want? What do you want? Because like I said, you know what you want. You really do. You really do, in your gut. And so take time to answer. And sometimes it takes just writing it out and really processing it to get to the bottom of precisely what you want your life to look like in detail, what you want your life to truly look like. But you need to actually take the time to do it. The second warning sign that I have for you is surrounding money, okay? So, does your current vision and your current dream life, does it consist of anything passion or purpose-based beyond money? I realized in my own fake dream life that everything I was pursuing was based off of money. I realized that I chose my career, that I chose the path that I wanted to take, that I chose the jobs that I was considering, and the whole picture. I realized that all of it was based off of how much money can I make and how much growth can I experience and how dependable is it? As in, okay, if I'm making $200,000 a year, I'm always going to be making $200,000 a year, and I can know how to handle that. No room for less and no room for more, really. I mean, that was sort of where I was. But I realized that I had absolutely no purpose beyond money. I went to school and got a degree in accounting and finance. And I kept telling myself that, yeah, like, I find money so interesting, and, messing with money and doing the data and all that stuff so interesting, and I feel so passionate about it. I'm just so passionate about it. Yes, I found it interesting. I was not passionate about the task. What I was passionate about was how much money I could be making. That was the only thing I was passionate about. I could care less about the task at hand. All I wanted to know was, am I making 6 figures? Could I make 7 figures? Will I be seen as super intelligent and super successful? I had no purpose beyond that. I had no purpose of, I want to help people with their finances, or I want to make change here, or I want to make a path for other women in the industry. I had absolutely no goal, purpose, or passion beyond my bank account. And so the question I want you to ask is, does the current vision you're pursuing have any purpose or passion beyond money? Do you have some kind of reoccurring, some kind of underbelly of everything you do? This feeling of, this is my goal. This is what I want to achieve through this pursuit. Through this pursuit of my career, of the actions I take, of my dream life? What is your purpose behind it? For me, I realized that my purpose and my purpose in life and my why, we're going to say, is that I want to create safe space for women to be themselves and to be who they want to be and to be their most authentic selves and to thrive there. But I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel safe doing precisely what they love to do. Because a lot of us, we don't feel safe when we're pursuing what we want and when we're pursuing our authentic dream life, which is precisely why I created this podcast. My other goal, though, like I've said, had absolutely no drive. It had no purpose beyond padding my bank account and making sure that I could have the bougie apartment or the bougie house and the pretty vacations. And I even came to realize that a job in the financial industry is super busy and you are not promised the ability to actually spend time enjoying this wonderful money you could be making. So that is the second warning sign and the second question that I really want you to be asking yourself. The third warning sign has to do with how you feel about what you are doing and what dream life you're pursuing. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, are you feeling inspired by what you're doing? Do you wake up in the morning and look at the tasks at hand and look at what you need to be doing? Do you look at these tasks? Do you look at this to-do list or these goals and feel just this inspiration bubbling out of you? Do you feel that? Or do you feel like, yep, back to the grind. Yep, it's just a job, just gotta carry on. What do you feel like? Are you inspired? Are you passionate about what you're doing and about what your dream life is? I worked at a CPA firm. I was an intern there, and then I worked there for a year after graduating college. And what I realized during all of that time is that I was absolutely so bored. I was stressed by the work, but I was bored. It just bored me to death. Now, being an accountant, being a CPA, being in the financial industry, it's a buzzing industry. It's a busy industry. There's stuff happening, there's drama, there's changes, there's always stuff to be learning. And so it can be very intriguing for many people. I'm not saying it's just flat out boring to everybody. But I looked at it and I had absolutely no inspiration to do it. I had absolutely no, waking up in the morning and thinking, you know what I get to do today? I get to help people file their taxes, and I get to help them manage their money, and I get to help them do this and do that. I felt absolutely none of that. All I felt was, good Lord, back to it. Another day. And I'd leave on Friday afternoon, and I'd get home, and man, I'd just be so happy. But by Sunday morning, I was angry and dreading Monday morning because I knew the work that I was going to have to do all during the week. I dreaded it. I would be bored. I would be exhausted because of my boredom. Everything was just dead in me. I just felt dead doing it. Now, when I realized that I wanted to be a content creator, and as I've really honed in on what I wanted my content to be about, as I've really focused and really done the work to figure out what my brand is, what I'm about, what my content is about, and it's taken me about 4 years to really come to that conclusion and figure out what I'm about. That whole process of figuring it out, creating content, trying to figure you guys out, trying to figure out what you guys want, all of that I find so intriguing and so inspiring, and it just drives me. And even though I am not making any money doing this, I have yet to make a dime doing this. After 4 years, even though I have yet to make any money over the past 4 years of working and pulling this together and trying and learning, I'm still inspired by it. I'm still on fire for it. I still love it. I still want to do it. Okay, so you need to figure out what are you inspired to do? What would make you wake up in the morning and just feel this aliveness and just feel this energy and just feel this passion and inspiration? And if the work you're doing right now and the dream life you're pursuing right now doesn't consist of any inspiration, any passion, any purpose, and it is literally just back to the grind, then you need to make a change. Then you are pursuing the wrong dream. That's your warning sign. That is your warning sign, because life has so much meaning and it consists of so much. And to waste it on something that, number one, you're uninspired by, and number two, is only for the money, I mean, that's a real shame. That's a real shame to waste years and waste all of this energy and waste all of this talent and purpose and potential and opportunity and skill and words, just words, to waste all of that on something that you hate doing and that you have absolutely no desire to do, and that you're completely uninspired by, and that you are completely detached from. So you need to ask yourself, am I doing something that inspires me? And once again, just like with our first question, you need to be very honest with yourself. You need to be very honest with yourself, because once again, all through college especially, I just lied to myself and said, oh yeah, I love I love finances. I love doing this. And I hated it. Looking back now, I hated it. There were certain things that I found interesting and certain things that were very intriguing to me and that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed the process of doing. And I think that it was valuable for me to learn the things that I learned. But I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I was not passionate about it. I dreaded it. Every single semester I'd get new classes, and there was no excitement for me. There was simply, oh great. So, I mean, I had millions of warning signs screaming at me. And so I'm hoping that you are, before we get to our last warning sign for today, I'm hoping that you are seeing the glaring arrows pointing at this is not right and I need to be making a change. I hope that by now you are hearing something and you are seeing something in your own life that you realize, yeah, that's got to change. It can't look like this anymore. I have to make a change. So, our final warning sign for today is, are there ideas and sparks of inspiration that you are ignoring? Are you ignoring something? Like I said, I had ignored what I truly wanted for so long. And looking back at my college career and all of the things that, even in high school, all the things that I considered doing and thought about pursuing, there were so many things that I was on fire for. And so many things that I was on fire for then that I'm still on fire for now and I'm finally doing now. There were so many things that I simply brushed under the rug because in my mind I thought, well, this is what I need to be doing. I need to be doing this. I need to be pursuing this career. I need to grow up and just do this and just get the job and just follow the plan. And so I brushed all of those little sparks and all of those, that like boiling fire within me. I just kept stifling it. I just kept smothering it and ignoring it and brushing it under the rug and saying, oh, well, don't touch that. Don't touch that. That's a little risky. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. It's a little bit scary. It's a little undependable and unknown and inconsistent. And so I ignored all of this inspiration within me for so long. For so long. I mean, even down to I love taking care of the home. I realized this in the last year. I love taking care of the home. I love decorating. I love designing space and creating a vibe. For so long, I told myself that that is not what I like to do. No, what I like to do is corporate work and being a boss babe. That's what I like to do. I don't care about what my home feels like, and I don't care. Everything needs to be functional. And I realized in the last year that I was ignoring those little sparks of inspiration in that small area of my life. In the smallest area of, yeah, I like to make my space beautiful, and what's wrong with that? And so that might seem like a super small area, but I realized that I was doing that in all areas of my life. I realized that as far as my career, I was super inspired by the idea of doing something like this, of just sitting down and talking a lot about mindset and self-improvement and just how to make your life better, and breaking that down and just talking and sharing and breaking down how you can really improve your life, make your life better, and just make yourself better. And I had been ignoring that for so long. Because in my mind, I had to be doing something. I had to be pursuing a dependable job, a job that other people sort of expected, something that people sort of kind of understood, knew the right questions to ask, that people didn't think was weird. I felt like I had to do something that was just expected of me, or that was expected of anybody, something that was normal. And so I completely stifled all of those little sparks, all of those little nudges in my life that said, you should be doing this instead. You should be trying this instead. And only in the last few months have I really stepped into, this is what I want. And only in the last few months have I stepped into and realized and accepted the fact that this is what I want my life to actually look like. And that's okay. And it's not dangerous, and it's not risky, and it's not stupid. Your dream life is not stupid. Okay? I feel like so often we are told that what we want is, number one, impossible, and number two, that it's ridiculous and stupid and childish. And that's just not true. If you want something, you want it for a reason. If you feel passionate about something, you feel passionate about it for a reason. And it's okay. It's okay to feel passionate about something, and it's okay to want to do something, and it's okay to want your life to look different than what is conventional. If you want your life to look conventional, that is okay too. I had to come to the conclusion that, you know what, it's okay that so-and-so in my life, they really do want the corporate job. And it's okay that so-and-so in my life really do want this or that. It's okay that they don't want what I want, because I don't want what they want. It's okay that everybody wants something different than everybody else. That's what makes us so wonderful. That's what makes life so beautiful. That's what makes life so interesting, and what makes people so interesting. And so if you are smothering these things that are inspiring you, these things that are sparking an inspiration in you, these things that just set you on fire, if you're ignoring that and you're just trying to, shove it into the cabinet and move on with your life and grow up, then you're missing out. Then you're missing out on a very purposeful and a very fulfilling life. And so I really hope that you take these warning signs, and I'm sure I'll find others in the future that I will share with you. But I hope that these 4 warning signs really open your eyes to the things in your life that you have been ignoring, and the things in your life that you really need to step into and embrace, and the things that you need to try. Everything might not succeed, but you need to try, and everything might not succeed right off the bat. Just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean that, oh, everything's just going to click into place. That's not what it means. But what it means is that even though it's not clicking into place, even though it's sort of hard to keep going, that you still love it. I mean, there's been a lot of times with this YouTube channel, with social media, that I've been trying and trying and trying and getting absolutely nowhere, and it's been hard to keep going because I don't have anything to show. I don't have any proof that what I'm doing is successful, despite all of my work. But I have something inside of me that just keeps telling me, you need to keep trying, and you need to keep doing, and you need to keep figuring it out. And so I hope that you are able to take these warning signs, that you are able to apply these questions to your life. I'll go through them one more time here. So the first question is, did you ever stop and ask yourself what you truly want your life to look like? And if not, then you need to take the time to actually do that now. Ask yourself what you want your life to look like. Second question is, does the current vision you're pursuing have any purpose or passion beyond money? And be honest with yourself. Are you truly passionate about what you're doing, or are you only doing it because there's some kind of promise or some kind of chance that you'll make lots of money doing it? Third question is, are you inspired by what you're doing? Do you really, are you set on fire by what you're doing? Or is it just a job? Is it just work? Is it just something? And then the last question is, are there ideas and sparks of inspiration that you are ignoring and that you have ignored in the past? And so take the time to really answer these questions, to really figure them out, to really come to terms with where you're at and what you really feel about what you've been pursuing in your life. Be honest with yourself. And then in the next episode, I'm going to be sharing how you can take action steps to drastically change your life and to actually start pursuing that dream life, to actually put together what you want your dream life to look like, to put those pieces together. You know, we have discovered the things that, the warning signs we see, okay, I've sort of been lying to myself, and I've been pursuing somebody else's dream. But now we're going to put together the dream life that you want, and we're going to put together the action steps that you need to be taking to actually start doing it, to actually make the move and not just ignore yourself and be scared, but to actually take the action that you want and take the action that you need to be taking. So stay tuned for the next episode of the Dream Life Diaries podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was beneficial. I really loved this topic. And if there is a topic that you want me to cover in the podcast in the future, I would love to really come up with ideas and come up with content that you guys really want to hear and that you guys need to hear and that you guys can actively be applying to your life, and that the changes that you really want to make and need to be making. I would love to make content that you want to listen to and that you need to listen to. So make sure to comment, let me know, DM me on Instagram, let me know precisely what it is that you want to hear. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you oh so very much. And until next time, so long.